I think slurs wouldn't even be allowed to thrive and make money if we didn't have weak males. That's the true problem.
Okay.
I'm not one of the guys who's in red pill and they say like women are the problem. I say men and women are the problem, but mostly men because men are the leaders.
Miss Columbia, you got to understand. So you tried, what you presented was like a false equivalency, right? And what I mean by that is I described the hero's journey where the other sex is not relevant. That individual is training for some type of competition where it's going to be intense and difficult and they're making extreme sacrifices to do so.
And women go through that too.
However, you gave something that isn't necessarily a hero's journey because anyone can get pregnant and you need another individual
not
to do it.
Not anyone can get pregnant.
In this age.
Okay.
She's Latina saying not anyone can get pregnant. That's amazing.
I can prove to you anyone can be pregnant. Even an Asian that's lying.
This guy.
There's a lot of women that can't have babies.
Okay, look.
And more after that one thing.
Okay,
a lot of
okay.
women have miscarriages.
Look,
exactly.
Look,
they can't carry a pregnancy.
There's a lot of men that don't have good semen to have kids. So
she keeps saying a lot.
I gave the example of like Rocky, right? Training for the movie, right? In the movie where he's, you know, waking up early in the morning, going on runs, training 2 to 3 times a day, sacrificing, training to get into a fight where he could possibly die, etc. And you're trying to compare that to having a child. Now, of course, I think having a child is the best thing that you can do. But I'm sorry, that is not the hero's journey. Not every single man goes through the hero's journey. Only a select few of men go through that journey, which is why people want to watch it. Remember, this whole debate
there are women that do that too.
This whole debate started with female podcasts and male podcasts and why female podcasts typically don't do as well. And then I was talking about, and I went a little bit further saying, well, it's because women don't typically have the hero's journey that men do. We have to become who we are.
So is this an opinion or a fact?
This is a fact. Men must earn their value. Women don't.
Women, clearly we have to defend our value here. Like, isn't that what we're
let me
literally
give you an
doing right
example
now?
because you use sports and sports is really easy.
Yeah.
We often use the strength thing and people are like, oh, obviously men are stronger than women. That's not fair. But let's consider this. You had a blonde, blue-eyed white girl say, yeah, just hawk tool, spit on that thing. And people are like, oh, give her 20,000. She's great. Now, let's flip it. Let's say it was a black guy who was instead talking about women, and he said, yeah, you know, just go spit on that thing and eat it up.
Don't rappers do it?
Must you interrupt? You're not even civilized. See, that's why we can't let lead, because your emotions are causing you to be impolite. You were interrupting him several times. Now you're interrupting me. Would you mind if I complete a sentence?
Go ahead.
Thank you, love. Now.
And we'll give you an opportunity to respond.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got you.
So the woman says something that is sexual, aggressive, some might say perverse, and says it in public without shame. And then we applaud her. Would you imagine if a man said that exact same thing in the exact same context? We'd call him creepy. We'd say that he's a predator. We would shun him, and I can assure you he'd be the opposite of famous. He might get canceled. He might lose his job. The social pressures are on. Can we agree on that?
Yes. But who's making her famous?
Watch the circus stream then.
Who's making her famous?
Let's let her finish. What were you saying?
I was just going to say fuck her right in the
That's a presidential candidate.
But that's what I'm saying.
That was on a television show.
Yeah.
That was
I
a star.
agree with you. But that's what I agree with you guys. Listen, I agree with you guys.
Yeah.
I don't honestly, unfortunately, I really don't agree with you.
I can care less if you agree or not.
Hey, big man. Big man.
I'm a real girl's girl. I'm not a fake ass girl's girl like half of you girls here in Miami.
Never.
Okay? Like,
One thing about me is never be fake. So.
all right, babe, and that's what I'm not.
Are those breasts real?
No, they're not.
Okay.
What does that have to do with my personality?
You just said never be fake, but much of
We're talking about
much of you is fake. That's the challenge.
Okay.
It's like there's no reality.
Okay.
Did you finish your? Did you have a response for that?
No, I'm done.
You don't. Okay. I was going to ask you this because you're critical of my concept that like women don't really go through the hero's journey. Can you name me like one female like superhero that went through the journey?
What do you mean?
A superhero or a real life person?
Superhero, or let's say a fictional character that people look up to or aspire to. Can you name one that you could think of like
Wonder
that
Woman.
go through it? Yeah, like a female that went through
You
the
said
hero's journey.
a character, right?
Yeah.
Wonder
Yes.
Woman.
Actually, she was given her powers from the beginning.
Black Widow.
And so was Superman.
She was.
Yeah, that's why he's not as popular as Batman.
How was Batman? Like, I don't even know about Batman. What is Batman? How did Batman?
You don't know
even-
BBC?
Okay. That's why Captain Marvel, like, she's not as interesting as the other superheroes. I mean, again, All I'm trying to say is that the hero's journey is a masculine journey. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. And you trying to equate that to a woman giving birth is not the same at all. Like, there's no movies about a chick pushing out babies, but there's a bunch of movies about dudes overcoming adversity, getting to the top, and doing it through, trial and tribulation. Like, it's not the same whatsoever. And the fact that you tried to equate a female giving birth to like Rocky is wild. And that's why men in general. And I'm trying to I'm very honest with you. This is why these movies are doing really bad that try to put a female lead actress in a hero's role, because women, it's not authentic. Women don't typically go through the hero's journey. Like, for example, you're 28 years old, right?
Damn.
If I take a guy your age, right, do you think he's going to have the same level of access to life that you have?
He'd be broke.
Matter of fact, you have a famous quote.
Yeah.
I think you might.
Absolutely.
The brain one, remember?
Yeah, I was holding it in too, because
ahead,
she
go ahead.
definitely exemplifies it.
Go ahead. This is like perfect timing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
Oh my God.
Oh, shit.
If I took your brain and put it in a man's body, you would be in poverty.
Sure. And that's
Her
an opinion.
body or the man?
Example A.
Oh my God.
I ain't gonna lie, like, them girls kind of turn me on sometimes. They kind of turn me on because you can confuse them. You just be confusing them for fun. Shit. You cheat on them, get busted, and then confuse them.
I was home, babe.
That was AI.
I was home, babe.
That wasn't me. That was AI. Oh my God.
Did anyone else have anything that they want to add? You wanted to say something, right? I saw you.
She get that brain. That's that dummy brain.
I'm not dumb. That's actually very insulting.
It is. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to call
no.
dumb people to their face. It's like, no, really, you're not. No, you're not.
Okay, well, what I
No,
wanted
I'm
to
gonna tell
say,
you why.
I thought it was my turn. I thought it was my turn to respond,
Yeah,
right?
go ahead,
It's my
go
turn.
ahead. Sure,
so
go ahead.
your whole thought about like the meme that is going around or whatever, it's like,
Okay.
oh, why are we like glorifying this girl saying
Yes.
like outrageous things? Because if it was somebody else, then it wouldn't be that same, right?
Yeah, it'd be offensive and they'd get canceled.
Correct, but who's making her famous? Y'all.
Simps. No, I say beat up simps.
Y'all.
I'm all about
Y'all
beat
are
up
making
simps.
her famous.
I didn't even know what the club was called. You heard me? Like,
I
no,
mean,
I
neither
say
did
beat
I.
up simps. I think these guys are disgusting. I think
Okay.
slurs wouldn't even be allowed to thrive and make money if we didn't have weak males. That's the true problem.
Okay.
I'm not one of the guys who's in red pill and they say like women are the problem. I say men and women are the problem, but mostly men,
Yeah.
because men are the leaders
That's
and they've
fair.
fallen, right? Like, for example, women will be as they want to be. They don't need to live in reality. Baby girl just told us that her parents are Muslim and she also is in OF. Those two things are so far apart, it's not even funny. So we allow women to live in Disneyland, but the problem lies in when men start to live in Disneyland. Guys are completely psychotic. They say they want a girl who's a good girl, but then they'll still date a girl who has a checkered past and has slept with an infinite amount of guys and then marry her. See, I'm not one of those guys. I find it to be utterly disgusting. That's why I call it out. Now, with regards to speaking on people who display a lack of intelligence, even though it's impolite and rude, I think it's necessary because in this day, we've allowed people like Sexy Red to become popular and spread their filth. So I'm a part of the army stigmatizing those persons so that we know, no, love, you don't look good with those big eyelashes. You look like a damn fool. No, we don't want you to wear a fake hair hat. It's disgusting. So I got to speak on it when they're doing dumb things, because otherwise she'll walk around thinking that she's a big deal, when in reality she's not a big deal. She shouldn't interrupt anyone. They say are good at multitasking. Here's 2 tasks: shut up and sit down. Master that.
He thinks because he has a suit, he can say shit. Like,
Also, like, why are you only stigmatizing like
Because you
women?
got money, Marquette, and you have a suit, and you work out, and you're 6 foot tall.
You had something and then you had something, right? Sure.
Yeah.
We'll let all the ladies say what they got to say.
So like just how you said, like there's simps and then the good guys or whatever. Like the same with women. Like not everybody.
Ooh, I wish it was the same with women.
Oh yeah,
I
we're
really
gonna generalize
do.
the whole gender. Let's do that right now.
No, I like where you're going with this, and I'm going to differentiate because we're not talking about women.
Oh, what
and
are
this
we
is
talking
important.
about?
Often people say modern women. Well, modern women just describes the females of our age. You know, the females in this generation. We really shouldn't say modern women. We really should say lower class women, because what we're often struggling with are the behaviors of lower class. Low IQ, low EQ, low income, low morals. That's what we're dealing with. And the problem with is because they don't take accountability. If I were to address you as an individual because you cannot take and like accept that you might have a flaw, instead you say, oh, no, don't talk about women. Baby, we ain't talking about women. We talking about you.
I know.
Baby, we ain't talking about women. We talking about you.
That's
Here's
fair.
the difference. Like, as a man,
I'm educated.
I hear you, love. As a man, I can take accountability and acknowledge that I'm imperfect. So, for example, if a chick said to me, like, hey, Marquette, you know, I really like guys with hair. Then I'll have to say, you know what? If I were you, I'd prefer a guy with hair too. You heard me? Some nice waves like mine, like, for sure. Like, that is better than being bald. You see, I'm not going to pretend and say, oh, like, male pattern. You know, I'm not going to try to explain it away. I'm going to say, you're right. And in that area, I am not top of the category. Whereas if you deal with a woman, you say, hey, rate each other. I'm like, oh, girl, you're a bad B. You're beautiful. You're all 10s. Whereas men, we have to live in reality. We have to acknowledge the reality about ourselves and the reality about others and figure out where we stand on the hierarchy. Because I can tell you this, if you ask this young lady, is she intelligent? She'll look you dead in your eyes and say yes. If you ask her, does she have manners? She'd say yes. But she's been interrupting and she's been rude and unruly this whole time, which is why I have to address it. Because too often guys will look at her and say, you know, she's attractive. I want to smash, and because they want to smash, they're about to start tap dancing and like being real nice, and because they've never told her the truth, she doesn't even know the truth. Recently, I was in Mallorca in Spain, right? I met this gorgeous Romanian chick, and she says, hey, how old do you think I look? I'm over here with my video editor. You heard me? I'm got her on, she texts me on IG. She says, how old do you think I look? And I was like, bro, how old you think Shorty look? He was like, bro, she looked like she at least this age. I was like, yeah, I agree. And he was like, what you gonna say? And I was like, not that. You know, that's the point. You get lied to, then you get smashed and dashed. And at the end, you're wondering why, because you have no sense of reality. And why does the lie work on you? Because you want to be lied to.